Kia ora, g'day, welcome back once again, here with another reaction, and we're nearing the end, ladies and gentlemen, to Mr. Kyle Morgan, former Delta Force operator, on the Sean Ryan Show. So let's jump back in.
Measure something, or else you never really know where you're at in space, right? And your mates can never really like appreciate, or you can't appreciate their, where they're at, like fully. But to dwell on it though, for it to become, well, this is high school, right? Where, well, that dude's a piece of shit because fucking blah, 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 or their O course time, or they're fucking like this, that, and the dude is fucking like toxic as hell. And this toxic masculinity of like, I have to pound my chest to prove how badass I am to other people in this space is like shocking to me. It's like shocking as fuck. And I'm telling you, like,
yeah, that does sound pretty shocking, like listening to it, because man, I can't. Maybe that happens. I'm just trying to think now if I've seen anybody. Actually, there's probably no, but I never witnessed it. I never saw it firsthand. I heard about it, sort of second, third, fourth hand by then. So I can't say that I've personally seen any chest pounding, chest beating, like I'm this, I'm that type of attitude within, or at least within the SAS anyway. I haven't seen that. So that would be toxic if that is the case. If that's what Kyle witnessed or saw. It sounds like that's what he saw when he was in Delta. Yeah, that's pretty sad, to be honest.
it's not deterring me from entering this space. It's almost like motivating me to hit people with a little bit of fucking humility and vulnerability. And guess what? It doesn't mean I can't still like perform on demand. Performance on demand is what a measure of like what a great shooter and a good shooter is consistently shooting good. Like it's not like every now and again shooting this or like it. And that's just one aspect. This is, there's so much experience that we have from being at war for 20 plus years and special operations, even being smaller and more elite. But the more elite you get, the more like unhealthy disassociation you have with where you stand in humanity. And a part of that, like that's not everyone. I don't want to overgeneralize. Some people have a very firm, grounded, and those are usually men of faith there.
But there aren't very many of them.
And there's not. And openly of faith and sober.
And generally they are not well liked.
Yeah. They're going to get shit on because they don't go out and, big boy at night, man, big boy in the morning, and trust me, like I partied my face off most of the time, everywhere I went, almost all the time, like because we train hard and we play hard, and it was this reprieve that I have that I could count on anywhere I went. We go all over the world, training in all these places and doing some amazing things. But for me,
you know what? If there were people that didn't like me because I didn't drink while I was in the unit, as whilst I served, they didn't make it known. So whether or not they disliked me behind closed doors or when I wasn't around, doesn't affect me either way. But it definitely doesn't affect me if they're doing it when I don't know about it. But yeah, I never experienced that as a non-drinker whilst I was in the military, and still don't drink to this day. Yeah, so that's. But I could see how, and I have seen people get hassled, not in the regiment for not drinking. I can't say I observed that, but just in the army in general, in battalion, because that was probably the time when I did get not harassed, but coaxed, lured, enticed, encouraged, whatever you want to call it, into drinking, because I was never a big drinker when I joined the army. And then, yeah, still really, I wouldn't say I was a big drinker in comparison to how much alcohol some of my friends could put away. Not through not trying, but I just wasn't able to. It wasn't a big drinker, and then eventually, just didn't drink anymore. Especially after that incident that I had whilst I was on cycle up in Auckland.
Like it was feeding into this this facade that was it was just a matter of time before it crumbled, and then everybody just saw this scared little boy down there, like just wanting someone to tell him it's okay. It wasn't his fault, and it's and then normalizing those behaviors as a parent, like as I've learned how to be a father and from a very young age. And it's like, well, they don't really understand how hard it could be. You guys got it easy. That's the way I parented for a while. Anytime shit got real, like, why are they bitching? Why are they crying? I don't get this, you know? And
I can definitely relate to that. To a degree, I think I still parent that way to a degree with regards to, some of the first world problems that our children will come back home with, because it's not hard what it is that they're going through. What you got an exam that you need to show up for, show up to that exam. You think that not showing up to it is going to get you the grades and the marks that you need because you want to go do this thing down the track at uni, or you want to get to uni, and you think by not showing up and getting a big fat 0 is going to help. It's not going to help. You're worried because you don't think you're going to pass, so therefore you're just not going to show up at all, and you're just not even going to try. Like that's not hard. Like, get your butt into class, get your butt to that exam, do your best. That's all you need to do. If you identify and if you fail, then hey, you've got some work to do. You should have bloody worked harder. If you've got these little goals or these aspirations of what you want to do. So, and at the same time, there's been some times when I've been OTT, like over the top with regards to things like chores and cleaning not being done to, at that stage and at that time in my life, not being done to, in my opinion, the right standard. But they're only bloody, not even teenagers, they're bloody young children in primary school. So, I've 100% been, I'd say off the rails with regards to some of the parenting that I've done over the years, which is not good.
Why should they get it? And why do I have to make it a thing? But those are the circumstances of the environments that I was raised in, and that's where I'm challenging myself to not continue to adopt those and break it. And I'm working on that. I'm working, and I have a ton of work to do because they're not going to always love you. They're not going to always be there. I'm a perfect example of it.
I love what he's mentioned there, that he's always challenging himself to try to do better in that space. I feel like I am too, but I'm fortunate and blessed that I also have a wife who challenges me in that space too. And challenges not in the form of confrontation challenging, but more of an encouraging, giving counsel, giving advice, saying things, not in a way to try to bring me down, but in a way to hopefully cause me to think. And it does. I might not want to acknowledge it in that time, but it definitely does cause me to think on reflection, and then I take that on board, and then I try to make those changes. Sometimes it takes me a bit longer than other times.
You got to show up and do the work, and they deserve every bit of you, and they need it. They need you to protect them. And if I die tomorrow, I know that I'm on the right path of mending and healing those relationships and prioritizing them outside of myself and God. They are it. In my own energy output. And when those are healed, they're continued to be maintained. There's maintenance. There's no start or finish line with them. But I have a lot of work to do still. And I owe it all to the woman that's sitting back behind us. That the fact that I'm And she's my best friend and the first person I love to hate.
Why do you think she gave you a third chance? I mean, last night at dinner, I'm just going to be honest. When you guys walked in the door, I was like, oh shit, his wife has cancer. And then we sat down and we got to talking, and she told me that her hair fell out because she's so fucking stressed out about what's going on at home. And that's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking real heavy. Why do you think she gave you a third chance?
I think clearly because she does love him. And we'll come back to Kyle's answer soon, but thinking of that, thankfully I haven't made my wife's hair fall out. Hopefully I never do that. Probably, if anything, making my own hair fall out. But yeah, that's a great question. Hearing Sean ask it to Kyle, but if I apply it to me, not many people know. My wife and I have nearly separated at least 3 times. I moved out of the home and was renting a room at another place. And I thought there was no coming back from that one. Not through any indiscretions or having secret relationships or anything like that. Neither of us. We haven't done that. Just my inability, I think, to the relationship with one of our children wasn't great. Now that's the one that I've spoken about in other reactions, and I got prompted to do something about that after reacting to DJ Shipley's interview on the Sean Ryan Show. And yeah, things were just, we were clashing with regards to what I thought needed to happen with regards to our daughter, and just her, the disrespect that I felt that she was showing us and her whole family. And so we're having clashes. Anyway, why do you think she's given you a third chance? Like, to his question to Kyle, if I apply that to me, this is just the connection to it for me anyway when I'm listening to these interviews. Hence why I enjoy watching them and then adding my 2 cents to them, right or wrong. I can always only just put it down to because she does love me and I do love her, and that's a powerful thing. Like, even though we were going to be, or even though we were living apart and separated for a time, I was still happy to make sure that she got the bulk of the pay when my pay would come in each fortnight, as long as I had enough just to cover whatever I needed, which wasn't much. The rest of it to her and the kids. They had the home, all that sort of stuff didn't bother me. They had the car, didn't bother me. And I would have continued doing that because I've always loved her and the kids, and I just always want them to be all right. So let's hear what Kyle has to say about why he thinks she gave him a third chance, and to hear that her hair fell out because of the stress that she's been through. Man, that's huge. Far out. Heavy, all right.
I don't know. I'm asking God every day about that. I don't think there's no logical reason other than God for her. Like, her spiritual process is what has kept her. I think in the beginning, the first time, it was me, right? Like, I think she had a lot that she was still learning about her own trauma and the work that she needed to start doing, and she started doing it. And I say me, meaning like the appeal of being in a relationship and with me, and like making it work no matter what, because it's our covenant, and her believing in that. But then now, like, through the second, like, God is the only thing that's, and I used to like make fun of her about it. Like, you have your God. Where are they? And I was just so ugly. And it's powerful, man. And when
that's a cool point. I completely slipped that as well. My wife is a woman of faith as well. Extremely strong faith, extremely strong in her faith. Lives it, breathes it, does her best every day. And yeah, that's probably the reason why. And then second is maybe their first equals. But yeah, my wife's spiritual strength is definitely a pillar in terms of her value sets and how she strives to live. And I think combined with that, her love for me and her, I guess her in some way being able to see that I'm capable of change. And there's been evidence of that over the years, over the 25 plus years of marriage that we've been fortunate to have. She's seen evidence of that change in me, which is, hopefully it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing.
Relationship can see through, because I also felt so alone and didn't know how to trust in others. And I started developing claustrophobia and all these different panic attacks. It's what the fuck is this? And at the end of the day, bearing all of it, right? Bearing the weight of the world. I've been able to give that to God and then share it with another human being. And because of her, she's shown me the example that I need to follow in my spiritual conditioning. And we got a lot of work to do as partners and still as individuals. But
have you ever asked her why she gave you a third chance?
We talked about this recently. It's the only reason is because of God. There was nothing that, because before I think it was she saw through all the ugliness, right? And I still had a foot in the door. I was I don't feel like I can, because I wasn't capable of even paying bills on time and myself and running my own house. And I was man, I suck. Help me. I want to escape. Come bail me out of this, and I don't have another, there's not another one of those. I've already cashed that one in. So now it's why are we doing it? Why is she putting up with me still? And she's my best friend. And the only person I've ever tried to trust. But that's also the person that I've inflicted so much fucking pain on. And now we're just dealing with all the residual triggering things and pain cycles. And but if there's anyone else that I want to go to the grave holding my hand, if they could put me in the earth, it's her. But to answer your question, I don't know, other than God and that spiritual process and that belief and in me, to when she can't see it, because I'm throwing out every bit of it's the ugly, the evil, the monster.
I got a little bit confused just then when he says he doesn't know. I think the first part of the answer was, it sounded like, it might be wrong, it sounded like it was his thought that he could only really put it down to God. Then Sean asked, have you ever asked her? And then he said, yeah, we spoke about this recently, and it was because of God. And then this third part, so that was the first two parts, and then the third part of this answer, unless he's saying I don't know in relation to something else, but it sounds like he's saying I don't know in relation to the original question. But anyway, on a tour with regards to the response there, much like I take people on a tour when I'm yapping away.
When I was disconnected from humanity for 2 years of my life.
She's sitting right there. You want to ask her?
Why have you given me a third chance? Erica.
Because I've always believed in him, and through my own faith in God, because I believe in God and I think anything's possible. But I saw through the mask and the hurt and the pain, and I knew that my husband came back from Mali. His live flesh came back, but he actually did die in that hotel. that day. And so seeing glimpse of him throughout that, like he's still in there, like having that hope, and just seeing that, and it's been a process, and still seeing that he is there, and coming out.
What an incredible woman. That's beautiful. Awesome. Cool that they panned the camera, that she was okay to give, I assume, her permission for the camera to pan onto her and to hear her speak about what she sees in him, and that he's still in there, glimpses of him. Powerful to hear her talk about, physically he came home, but, she could see that he wasn't fully himself, but she can see him in there, and it clearly he appears from time to time, and so she has that hope in her faith, which enables her to, stay by his side. It's a strong woman right there. He's very blessed, as am I. Full credit to you, Erica. Much love and respect to you and your family, and to Kyle too.
You're a strong woman.
Strong human being. Strongest person I've ever met in my life.
How are your kids?
I got a lot of pain, a lot of things I need to truly put the appropriate amount of energy towards the healing.
Are they going to watch this?
I hope so.
You got anything to say to them?
I love each and every one of you, Ethan. I've raised you since you were 4 and couldn't ask for a better, more capable son. And the stars, the limits, man. I'm
sorry to cut him off. Just admiring the family photo. This is awesome. Super athletic young man, blinking heck, just standing there, backward flip on the beach, man. Look at that. That's a beautiful family you got right there. Kyle and Erica, and I think he said Ethan. Sorry, I haven't heard the names of the 2 girls, but awesome. Hopefully they have watched it, and hopefully those relationships are going really well with his family anyway, with their family.
I'm sorry. And, Kyla, you just make me so proud. And I want you to know that I will always be there to support you. And I know I've leaned on you guys more than you should ever have been leaned on to give me my sense of self love as a father. And I'm working and I'm continuing to do that work to be the best father. And hopefully, if you guys bless me with a grandfather for your children. And Kaylee and Kennedy, you guys are okay too. No, I love all of you. And what I did doesn't define who I am, and what I'm going to do is just put a fraction of what I owe you as a father. I love you.
Mean, Kyle. Awesome. That's tough, man. On the spot. I love how Sean does that. Asks the straight questions and gives people the opportunity to say what it is that they may want or need to say, to clear anything that they might have off their chest. And it's a powerful and a beautiful thing.
Thank you for letting me do that.
You're welcome. They're going to love that.
I hope so. That's the biggest thing for me, is I feel like everyone's just still disappointed in me.
Well,
but that's the shame piece and the self-forgiveness and belief. And
there's probably a lot of pride in there too.
Yeah.
You know, I got a hell of a dad.
Yeah.
How many people do you think you saved in that hotel? A lot of fucking people.
Even now, like at saying that, like I know I was exactly where I needed to be, like when I needed to be there, and I can't even save my own marriage. I can't even like prioritize my children over everyone else. You know, I'm still struggling with it, and I just know that I'm not going to hang my head on that. I'm going to, the fact that I was there and saved the people I saved, and now they're going to have children. They're going to have children because of my direct like actions, and conversely, the people that I've taken off of this earth, like the intimacy of taking another human being's life, like that's eaten at me, and I've wore that on my soul. And I'm not looking for any more fights, man. My fight has been ongoing, and now I'm giving it the energy it needs. And it's right fucking here. It's having these hard discussions. At the end of the day, I'm going to lay my head down tonight, and I'm going to pray, and I'm going to not dwell on all the things I didn't do today. I'm going to highlight a few of the things I did that I am proud of, and then pray that I have another. And if I wake up, man, there's fucking joy everywhere. You just got to see it, and I got to say it so that I believe that, because I'm telling myself these things, so then I do them and truly believe in them. And as I'm doing that, as a byproduct, I know it's helping others. It's just, I wish I could take back all the pain I've inflicted on the people I care about most, because I had no idea what trauma was. But anything less than nurturing can be considered traumatic. And I say that because I guess first I'm like, fuck, I've been traumatized my whole life. But more importantly, how much trauma have I inflicted, either directly or indirectly, to the ones I care about most? And what the fuck am I going to do with it, or not do about it? You can't bury it. You can't avoid it. You can. I'm choosing to acknowledge the fact that I'm remorseful for the things I've done. I'm proud of the things I've done for good. And those are just but like chapters in a story, in a book that I'm still writing. And I have a lot of story to write.
Man, I'm going to pause this here. I didn't realize, so there's still about 10 minutes left to go. And this is coming up to 30 minutes, so it'll end up being nearly an hour if I let it carry on. So I'll come back and I'll do what should be the final reaction on on the last one. But yeah, lots to take away in there, lots of reflections in there for me, lots of things for me to work on personally. And yeah, clearly some heavy and some hard stuff. Massive respect to his wife, Erica, for the strength that she has. And yeah, and the women in our lives, I'll just think of the blessing that I have of my sweetheart and the rock and the strength that she is for our family, for me. The faith that she has, very similar, sounds similar to Erica here in terms of them being women of faith and being very strong in that. Yeah, and being willing to get my wife, being willing to, be patient with me and work with me, as is clearly is Erica, even through all the challenges and trials and hardships that they have faced. So grateful for that. Plenty of learning in here. Grateful for it. Anyway, if you made it this far, appreciate you and your time and for your support. As always, the message is the same. Man, any difficulties that you may be going through, whether they're relationship-wise, whether they're employment, whether they're just whatever they may be, keep turning up, keep staying in the fight. Put one foot in front of the other and know that the sun will shine again. Take one day at a time and be kinder to yourself as well. You don't have to crack it or clock it all in the one day. Sometimes it's just about those small, consistent steps of turning up each day, which will make a huge difference. I promise you things do get easier, and they will get easier. So as always, go always a little further. Remember, who dares wins and who cares wins. And until the next video, there's a big mana wave coming from me to you, filled with my aroha, respect, appreciation, and gratitude for you all.